Well, hi there, folks. My name is Ron Rogers, and I want to talk about something that I know most pilots are embarrassed about, and that is the fact that aerobatics can cause ED. You see, when the blood's going all over the place, that was a vertical snap roll that degenerates into a spin if you just hold it. You know, blood goes up, blood goes down. There are two major important factors of ED that pilots can experience, and one of them has to do with blood flow, and the other one has to do with the simple act of nutrition. Now, you notice in aerobatic maneuvers, you get a lot of blood flow. You get positive blood flow, you get negative blood flow, which really is good. It takes stress off the heart because the heart doesn't have to do a thing. Positive G takes the blood down to the feet, negative G brings it back up to the head. That's kind of what the heart does there, and you're saving it from all that work. But blood flow is critical here. There's one other thing that I think really gets neglected when we're talking about ED and pilots, and that is nutrition. Okay, so we're flying here, and all of a sudden we realize, hey, we have a nutritional problem. And there it is. You hear how it's getting quiet? Now, a lot of pilots won't address this issue. They'll just keep on going. They'll keep on flying. Yeah, you hear the wind in the wires there, but the engines, it's not making any noise. And you go, oh my gosh, I've got ED. And what can I do about it? Well, in this case, the solution is fairly simple. It's a nutritional issue. And what you want to do in a case like this is you got to handle nutrition properly. And as we all know on engines, that nutrition is fuel. So you push the throttle back in and you have fuel. Okay, that solves the first part of ED, or engine disruption. The problem of aerobatic pilots experiencing engine disruption. Now here we have a blood flow issue because there's a lot of negative G here. You notice how I actually gain height there? I mean, as you get old, you tend to shrink. So this is great. You actually gain height, at least temporarily, by doing negative G. So here's our second issue of blood flow. And as we all know, blood for an engine is the oil. So you've got to have a good oil system, or you will definitely have an ED problem. It may not show up right away. Everything will be fine. Everybody's happy for the first few minutes. It looks like it's all working. But if you have the blood flow problem in ED and you're not getting blood to the engine, the oil, it's going to get bad. And I flew a few early on aerobatic airplanes that didn't have an inverted oil system, and it was kind of cool. You know, you go inverted and you watch the oil pressure go to zero. And okay, well, that's not as much fun as you might think. But it comes back if you roll out. Okay, that's fine. And the fuel system, I've had non-inverted fuel systems. You do a roll and the engine quits, and you keep it coming around, it comes back. So those are easy methods of curing ED, engine dysfunction. All right. So now I've had some where, you know, things are seeming to go along all right. The airplane is actually made to function with an inverted oil system, but I took a T-38 one time up on a maintenance test flight, and they have a thing in the oil tank. And now that we're training people, you know, women of not necessarily the female persuasion, they called this a donkey appendage. Okay, I'm not sure if I can use that word in public here, but if it didn't flop over, if it didn't flop over and start picking up oil, the engine wouldn't get any oil. So the thing is, on a maintenance test flight on a T-38, what you do is you roll inverted, and you make sure that after a couple seconds the donkey appendage does shift, and you start getting oil flow again. And one time I did this, And the one engine recovered. T-38's nice. It's got two engines, not like this airplane with one. It's got two. But I rolled inverted, and I think it was the left. Yeah, it was the left engine that didn't recover. So I said, got a problem there, and I rolled out. And when I rolled out again, I didn't get oil pressure back. Well, that's not a good sign. That was not a good cure of ED there. So what I did is I came back and I told the mechanic that I said, hey, we may have a problem with the left engine with oil quantity. You might want to check it. And he went and he checked the dipstick, and there was no oil on the dipstick. I had actually essentially pumped it all out. And I slightly digressed there because this is obviously not a T-38. A T-38 is a very sexy, sleek, beautiful airplane. The last thing you want to do is have ED issues when you're dealing with a beautiful airplane, because that's when it really gets embarrassing for the pilot, when he's dealing with a beautiful airplane. Now this is a beautiful airplane too. It has one engine, so that can make things simpler. You don't have to worry about that second engine quitting. But the other problem is, since you only do have one engine, if that one quits, now you've got a big problem. Well, I hope you understand, or at least have a better knowledge about issues with ED in aircraft. And I know it can be embarrassing. There's nothing more embarrassing than landing in a field. See, that's why I do this just west of my town there of Crystal Lake. I'm out over the fields there. You could actually see there's Crystal Lake, I think, in the background there. You could actually see it go by. But, you don't want to land in some farmer's field and then have to explain how, you're suffering from ED, engine disoperation. There's a lot of people have a lot of things. They call it a lot of different things, in trying to avoid the embarrassment. But again, nothing more embarrassing than having to walk back and leaving, the beautiful creature that you love out there in the field all by itself. Just not happy at all. Well, I hope that gave you some insight into this issue that's affecting pilots. And if you have any further questions about this, see your local airplane doctor, your mechanic, and I'm sure they can take care of it and relieve any problems. Well, I hope you found that instructional, possibly even inspirational, or at least semi-entertaining. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and come back soon.